Hey, Justin.
My man, how are we?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm outstanding. Thank you, Jimmy. Great to see everybody again.
Yeah. I was just asking everybody how they liked last week, the gut biome and nutrition. Everybody's just logging in to see, telling us where they're viewing from. We got India, Pakistan, UK, Canada, South Africa. Wow. California. Nice. Nice. So
Love it.
today, we're going to talk about cellular testing and custom supplementation. So supplementation is a huge topic. I'll start off by saying that one thing that I've noticed, what I've noticed definitely here in Texas, in Austin, Texas, is I would say, transition. A lot more people are transitioning from going the medication route. Everybody realized that medications for chronic problems don't solve chronic problems. They don't actually fix them. They just patch them, and it's a relief, a symptom relief, but it doesn't fix the problem. So a lot of people have been transitioning to now, okay, I want something natural. And so now they're thinking about supplements. And so now the supplement industry has been booming, and actually a lot of the big pharma, they actually have bought these supplement companies because they see that's what the public wants. And but that's good and bad. The bad thing is that now I see people, going towards supplements, and they're treating it like medication.
Yeah.
But it's just a natural medication. So really, again, supplements, we prescribe supplements in our clinic. They help, but they can also be just a Band-Aid and not actually fix the problem. And that's why we want to talk about today is, how do you know what supplements for you? Because what's good for you is not necessarily good for your neighbor or your spouse or your kids. You need to know what is good for you. And that's where Justin's going to talk about, cellular testing, right?
It's such a great segue and lead in, Jimmy, because if we are and this is why, for everybody who's putting in the chat, can we see the replays and what else has happened? Jimmy has been posting these to his Instagram. So they're all on Instagram. They're all on my Instagram. They're all in the feed. So you'll see everything from part 1 through part 5, which is today. And this is an 8-part series that we're going through. So be sure to go back to our Instagram pages, and you can watch every single live that we've done thus far. And if you remember, what we talked about and what we've been really focused on is HRV and the 8 controllables, and leaning into the 8 controllables. And why we start there is, I want you guys to hear this. If we continue to use supplements and any other tools like sauna, red light, peptides, hormone therapy, any of these other tools that are being prescribed, but we don't change our habits and behaviors, we are using them just like pharmaceuticals. Mm-hmm. That is just our drug of choice. Our drug of choice becomes a supplement rather than something that's prescribed to us. And it's no better. We're in no better of a situation. I've seen a bunch of questions on here. What's the best supplement for a woman? What's the best supplement for pain? What's the best supplement for headaches? What's the best supplement? There is no best supplement. Please hear this, understand this. There is no best supplement. There's only something that's built for you. There's only something that works for you. And that's where this entire industry has become so lopsided and so perverse in how we operate, that it's all about dollars in, it's all about money. Like, same thing. What's a great prenatal? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to tell you what a great prenatal is, because we have to figure out what is happening within your body. It may not be a prenatal supplement that you need, because maybe you're deficient in iron, but there's not enough in a prenatal. It actually doesn't help you. Maybe you don't have enough B12, and you're you're struggling with taking this other multivitamin, doesn't have enough B12 in there, and that's the issue. And so when you get your blood taken, and I love this next topic, or the next thing that somebody says is, get your blood taken.
Yep.
Sure. But getting your blood taken normally is not enough. Why? Because there's 2 different forms. So when you go to your doctor, the doctor is going to run 2 tests usually. These are like in your general blood, when you get the general blood done. Number 1, it's going to be a CMP, which is called a complete metabolic panel. The next is going to be a CBC, and that's going to be a complete blood count. They're going to run those 2 tests, and that's what's going to be, that's what everybody, if you go to Inside Tracker, if you go to any at-home testing kit, if you go to a doctor and you go to Quest Labs or LabCorp and get your blood drawn, everything is going to ultimately be pulled a CMP and a CBC. What that's looking at, it's looking at blood serum. Now, there's a difference between blood serum and what gets into your cell. Blood serum is what's freely floating through your system, and it has to do with what you've eaten in the last 24 to 48 hours. It has to do with what you've been supplementing. It's in a very acute look at what's happening within your system, a very here and now as to what's happening within your system. I've seen thousands of times where somebody has a high vitamin C count or a high vitamin D count in their blood serum testing, CBC or CMP, which you get normally. But then what we run is called a micronutrient profile, which is a cellular blood test, okay, at the cellular level. And when you're talking about the cellular level, this is what's going inside the cell. This is what's taking the blood from the serum and getting into the cell. And so going back to that same story, is there was, again, thousands of people that they get their blood drawn, the doctors go, oh, you're healthy, all your levels look great. Vitamin C levels great, vitamin D, vitamin B. But then we get a micronutrient panel done on this person, and they're low in vitamin B, they're low in vitamin C, they're low in vitamin D. How does that happen? Why? Because they don't have the precursors or the cofactors to take the vitamin C, turn it into a usable form that gets it into the cell. So your body thinks that you're deficient in these micronutrients. And thus you get sick, you get headaches, you get nausea, you form some form of acute illnesses or chronic illnesses, you get sick more often, and you're not satiated, you don't feel well, you don't recover from workouts as quickly, all of these things. And our true health is ultimately realized when our micronutrient deficiencies are looked after. And that's what we have to identify. That's what we have to look at. And so when you go to your doctor, when you go to anybody, and they said, hey, can I get this, can I get my blood testing done? Make sure you ask for a cellular micronutrient deficiency test. Ask them for the exact things that you're dysfunctional in at the cellular level, not from a blood serum standpoint. A lot of it, like when people ask where can we get this done, this is not a pitch, this is not an ad, but we do that through Own It. That is literally what our company is built around, is holistic health and wellness, making sure that you guys can get the information that you need and then be able to get you exactly done what you need. I want to answer any questions, or kind of, Jimmy, give you back the floor when it comes to and be able to answer any more questions on cellular micronutrient testing versus blood serum testing, and if I can answer anything else there.
Yeah, so let me, so this is a reminder for everybody that joins in weekly to watch our show. You should always have a notebook. I'm always taking notes. And so as Justin was talking, I was taking a lot of notes, but it also stimulated some thoughts. And, you know, what's a better, it's all questions are great questions. And but there is a better question. So the better question is instead of asking what supplement should I be taking for insomnia, what supplement should I be taking for prenatals, what supplement should I be taking for XYZ, a better question would be, what do I need right now? What does my body need right now? Because what you need right now, you may not need a month later. So
That's
for example, I'll give you a great example. Like yesterday, I played 2.5 hours of tennis. So I play competitive tennis. And so what I do, a lot of my tennis buddies, what they do is they will pop some Advil or ibuprofen before they play and then after they play. What I do, and when I know I'm going to do some strenuous exercise, is I use a natural anti-inflammatory, which is fish oil. So I pump in 3,000 milligrams of fish oil before I play and then 3,000 right after I play. That helps me decrease inflammation from my joints, and it allows me to play tennis for a lifetime. Now, does that mean that I will take 3,000 milligrams of fish oil every single day? No, I won't, because it's not what I need at the moment. And so that also segues to what Justin was talking about, blood serum test. So blood serum test, first of all, blood test is not enough. But one of the reasons why it's not enough is because a lot of what Justin was talking about, the CBCs and the CMPs, those are telling us what our body, what our organs are doing right now. It doesn't tell us, how well they have been performing for the last year. It doesn't tell us how will they continue to perform like this, for the next 3 months. It doesn't, right? So it gives us a picture, just one piece of the puzzle. So a lot of people rely too much on blood tests. Now, I love blood tests. I love Western medicine testing. I think it's very good technology, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. So you should not base your whole treatments or your whole diagnosis on just one piece of the puzzle. You need multiple pieces of the pie, right? But blood testing is definitely something everybody needs to do, definitely on an annual basis. But you need to do, for example, what Justin was talking about, micronutrient testing. You need to do those additional testings. Now, there's millions of tests. Does it mean that you got to do every single one? No, it doesn't. It depends on, first you could use like what I like to do is I like to use the complete blood count, the CBC and the CMP as a baseline, to see, hey, what does this tell us about organ function? And that's another thing about who you go to interpret the data. If you go to your primary care, majority of the primary care, they are trained to read these tests as in a sense of, is your organs about to stop working? It's a yes or no question. If it's not about to stop working, then they're going to tell you, you're fine. It's normal. Come back in 6 months or come back in a year and let's do it again, right? Now, and then you'll have functional medicine doctors or more holistic practitioners, like Justin and myself. And we will look at the blood labs a little differently. The way I look at the blood labs is I look at, okay, there's all these different markers. What does it tell me about how my organs are functioning? Will it tell everything? No, it won't. But it will give me clues. It will give me clues to say, so like, for example, the CMP is mostly focused on your liver and your kidney function, the two main organs that the CMP really focuses on. And so that will give me clues to say, hey, is my liver doing all of its job? If it isn't, if there's some red flags within that CMP, that tells me I need further testing for my liver function. And so I use blood tests to determine function, like organ function, because at the end of the day, if your organs are not functioning correctly, you're not going to have optimal health. And the reason why you have all these symptoms, problems, is because some of your organs are not functioning at optimal levels. Now, I'm not saying they're not functioning at all. I'm just saying they're not functioning at optimal levels. So, for example, if your liver, let's say, has 10 functions, okay, it has more than that, but I'm just using this as an example. If it has 10 functions and it's only doing 7 of its functions, then it's not at optimal level. So that means we got to figure out what of the 3 other functions is the liver not doing, right? And then go figure out how do we get it to do it again by itself? And that's where how we use supplementation. We use supplementation to restore function, not to replace function. And that's what medicine does. Medication is given to you because your body lost that ability. So it is replacing a function. And a lot of people, the public right now, are using supplements to replace function, but which is not a long-term solution. Supplements can be used where it can help restore function. Now, how do you know what? Well, that's where, what we're talking about today with the micronutrient testing, the cellular testing, is to see, hey, how can we use supplementation to restore function, not replace function?
Yeah, I think the big thing, and just I want to create clarity for you guys listening to this, because I know it can just become overwhelming, is when you're going to your primary and you're getting your CMP and CBC done, it can't stop there. That's not it. That's not like where we're at, because the micronutrient testing is ultimately going to give you, that is the only test that you should do. If you're only going to pay for something, because insurance does not cover the micronutrient test, it's at the cellular level. If you're going to pay for something, pay for the cellular micronutrient test. Why? Because think about if I was to all of a sudden take you from breathing normally and then put a straw in your mouth. And now I'm going to say, now I need you to breathe and go about everything in your day. Well, you're not going to be able to work as hard. You're not going to be able to walk as quickly. You're not going to be able to move as fast because you're getting less oxygen into your body. That's how your cells operate. If they're not pulling micronutrients into the cell and being able to use them, it's like breathing through a straw. It's shunting what they're getting, which is going to create further illness down the road. And so that is the one thing that we want to look at. We want to look at the cellular micronutrient function, and so important. And again, you can DM me and we can get you a test sent out to your home and get a phlebotomist to your house and get that all pulled for you and get that done. That is the easiest way to get that done. Second, talking about supplementation. Supplements are just a wild, wild west area where everybody is putting out a supplement. Everybody is saying, this is the best, and this is the best, and this is the best, and this is the best. There is no best. If there is a supplement that says, that's formulated in bulk, and then is given and said, this is the best thing for fatigue. This is the best thing for energy. This is the best thing for a multivitamin. It's created in bulk for everyone. So it's not built for you. When something comes into our body, a supplement comes into our body, a food comes into our body, we actually can't use that to help with restoring function. It needs to be broken down into a raw compound. Our bodies can only use raw compounds. And so that is something really important to understand and to know, that when we do this and when we get this done from a supplementation standpoint, we either A, need the raw compound, like a straight up vitamin D3 pill or a folate pill or whatever it might be. We need the raw compound so we can now get the right dosing. Or again, coming back to what we do is we take a look at your micronutrient testing. What is it that you're cellularly, micronutriently dysfunctional in? Where is the deficit? Where is it not coming from? What are we missing as a precursor to get from your serum into the cell? And then what we do is our doctoral team custom formulates your supplement for you. It's built for you. It is not built for Jimmy. It's not built for me. It's not built for Andrea. It's not built for Chloe. It is built for you. It is a one-of-a-kind. Everything has changed. The different types of raw compounds in there, the different percentages in there, the different amounts in there. It's all built for you. And as I saw, somebody said, well, does your cellular health change? Yes, it does. And we need to retest every 3 to 6 months. And when we retest every 3 to 6 months, that is when we again reformulate your supplementation. So we adapt as your body is adapting, which is why we see all of this healing happening, all of the energy being restored, all of the brain fog being eliminated, all of the headaches being eliminated, all of the body aches being eliminated, all of these types of things. And so when you look at this, the way that we operate, we bring you in, we do a baseline testing, and then we get your custom supplementation built for 3 to 6 months, however often you want to do it. If you want to do it we have thousands of clients doing it every quarter. We have thousands of clients doing it every 6 months. It's just dependent on you and what you're wanting to come in with. And so when we look at this, we pair your cellular micronutrient testing, pair that with your custom supplementation. It literally comes to you, looks right like this, built for you. Okay, this is the only thing you need to carry with you, and it's built for you to create the real changes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions as I was looking at the feed. One is, where can you do the testing? So you can do the testing with Justin's company. It's called Own It Coaching. He can type it into the chat where you can get that. Where else could they get the micronutrient testing?
Yeah, I mean, you can go and try and put it together yourself and reach out as a client. If you go to spectracell.com or if you go to cellscience.com, those are both companies that we use to source it from. But what will end up happening is you'll go there. I think the tests on their websites, just to do the micronutrient testing from each, I think it's $500 or $600. And you'll get the report back, but you won't have anybody to look at it. You won't have anybody to formulate or supplement for you or create your kind of process and watch you kind of go through it all. And that's why with us kind of just coming over to Own It Coaching, we'll have it all in like one big place for you where we'll supplement for you, we'll get your supplements to you, and it just kind of becomes like clockwork. So just something to think about. But there's two different options. You want to go put it together yourself? Easy. And the unique thing, again, somebody asked where we're located. We're headquartered in Miami, but we work in both Canada and the United States. We ship everything virtually. We have a phlebotomist come to your home, draw your blood, take it, then supplements show up at your home. You have in-person conversations virtually with our team and our docs. So that's how we operate to make sure that it's best for you guys and you have access to, one, the truth, and two, the best.
And another question is the micronutrient testing different from if you were just to go get blood serum testing for all of the vitamins?
Yes, because remember, when you get a blood serum test done, it's only looking at what's in your blood serum at that moment. And so when that occurs, you're not looking at what's going into the cell. So we're only looking at what is in your serum, what's freely flowing through the veins, not what's actually getting into the cells. That really is what's creating nutrient density and creating real purposeful nutrients into the body. So there's a major difference between blood serum testing and simple cellular micronutrient testing.
Yeah.
And so just one more thing, I see all the questions. To make it easy, if you're in the United States and Canada, you can get this done. Just go to Own It.
Yeah, and so to give another example is if you were to take a little pill that's B vitamins, as all the B6, B12, B1, and then you go get your blood serum testing that day, it will be super high. But then you go back and you get another blood serum test for your B vitamins, and this time you don't take the supplements, then your values will be low. So it fluctuates based on the serum, so it's not really accurate. So that's why if you want a more accurate assessment, you want to get the cellular micronutrient testing. Also, I want to answer a couple of questions that I also saw. So how do you choose a supplement, right? Justin's talking about custom supplementation. If you think about it, what you need when you were 18 years old, do you think you would need the same thing when you're 72 years old? No, because your body's evolved, your body's degenerated. There's a lot of things, life has happened, right? So that's why someone was asking, how often do we need to do these testing? Well, how often do you want to be at optimal health? That's the real question you should be asking. And, you know, you and I don't recommend you buy a buttload of supplements and you just constantly take them for the rest of your life because your body changes.
Correct.
So if your body changes, you need a customization almost at least once a month, right? Um, One suggestion I would say is where do you get your supplements? There's many places, like Justin said. It's a wild west. But two things that we do in our clinic that we look for. Number one is are the supplements third party tested? Third party tested pretty much makes sure that they are safe to take. If they are not third party tested, you do not know what is in that pill. So third party testing is number one. Number two is pharmaceutical grade. So supplement companies are not required to get third party testing, and they are not required to follow the what's called the United States Pharmacopoeia, which is USP, which is the standard that the pharmaceutical companies have to follow to make medication, which is very strict. So if you imagine if the supplement companies they have to spend their own money to get third-party testing and to follow the USP, United States Pharmacopoeia, they have to spend extra money. So those supplements are going to be more expensive because they are doing the testing for you. Because that's the question you're going to ask is how do I know if it's safe? If they're third-party tested or if they're pharmaceutical grade. So those are the two things. Vitamin D injection, that's a Band-Aid, right? If you are severely vitamin D deficient right now, yes, you can get it, but that's a Band-Aid. Because I know there's a lot of these IV clinics, popping up everywhere. You can just go get some nutrition, IV nutrition. You feel good for maybe a day, a week, and then you go back feeling crappy, and you got to go back and get it. It's like a junkie, literally a junkie.
It literally, do you remember what I said at the very beginning? Is if you don't change the behaviors, your IV drips, your supplements, your whatever, they're no better than the pharmaceutical drugs or even hard drugs. It's your jug of choice.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's Justin and I are a proponent of how can you be in control of your own health?
Yes.
What are things that you can do? Not be dependent upon something else. Not even being dependent upon a supplement. Supplements are to supplement, not to replace. And so, any last words, Justin?
Yeah, no, I think that's it, guys. The biggest thing is it comes back to empowering yourself with the right information. And when you go and you get this done, it will all of a sudden allow you to see what is actually happening inside of you, what is actually happening internally. The moment that you know the language of your body, when you can understand what's happening internally, you can make highly educated decisions and be empowered in those decisions. And that's what I want you to ultimately have the power to do and to be confident in it. The last little rant I'll go on is the world around us is just throwing information saying, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, you need this. And what's ultimately happening is nobody actually cares about what you need, what is going on in your body, what's happening in your cells, what's happening with you. But if we can get to the core and give you the information and empower you with understanding and know this is exactly the test I need to do to tell me what's happening inside of me, what can happen then is that you can have one supplement that's built for you to understand what's happening to you, and it now creates this time energy shield around you that everything else that's getting thrown at you can just bounce off because you know
Exactly.
you're doing what you need.
Exactly. Perfect. All right, Justin, thank you for showing up today. Thank everybody for showing up. We will be back, same bat channel, bat time, bat date. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday. All right, guys, have a great day.